Hi everyone and welcome to this afternoon edition of The Crows Show, brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. I'm Mark Bickley.
And I'm Alana Smith as we count down to Adelaide's clash with the D's at the G.
Putting aside football rivalries, it's a chance for many Crows players to catch up with former teammate Bernie Vince.
Shortly we'll hear from Bernie and learn how the York Peninsula boy has adjusted so successfully to football life in Melbourne.
Obviously there's a bit of a fear of the unknown, moving to a city I'd never lived in before.
But first, earlier in the year, Charlie Cameron and forwards coach David Teague let us eavesdrop on one of their performance reviews. But for an idea of what happens when theory is put into practice, let's hear how James Podsiadly coaches his defenders.
Right, lads, aerial pair up. So Rob will kick it up to the bag, Tom will kick it up to me. So the 1v1 will be with me, and then straight after that you have a 2v1. So you're against each other and then you're with each other. Got it? And just do the bag as normal.
Everyone knows the AFL game is broken down into different skills. So we have one session a week at the club where we just focus on the fundamentals of football, whether that's marking, goal kicking, kicking, handballing.
Well, Mark, let's go me a coffee.
Oh, you got it, I got him down.
No, you haven't. Joe Kelly! Good Tarzi, good footwork. Oh, nice footwork, big guy. Massive unit you are. It was like Modra, really. Ledra. Oh no. Well done. Good contest. Good contest. Too strong.
Aerial is a big component of playing in the back six on game day. So we do a fair bit of work on, either bring the ball to ground or marking it.
Good, Gory. Good talk. Well done. What was your lesson then, Crouch Dog? What was your lesson then? Yeah. I'm going to mark one of these ones. I'll mark this.
No ball, we're going covered.
Oh, that's a free kick! You can't do that. You can't do that. You turn straight at me, the ball's out there, you turn straight at me. Exactly from the vision. Oh, yes. Good, Talsy, good move. Oh, Pods. 2 hands for beginners.
Most game reviews, you probably identified an area that the players should focus on during the week. So training sessions like we did today are probably a chance for players to sort of just hone in on that skill.
Hey, Rat, your aerial's improving, man. Really good. Really good, loving it. Love your footwork and stuff. Rightio, minions. What do you got?
Let's go, Butch, you get up. Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Oi, hey!
My bad.
Well done, man. Good aerial today.
Bernie Vince was certainly a crowd favourite in his 129 games for the Crows. But with draft sanctions in place in 2013, Adelaide was forced to trade Bernie to Melbourne in exchange for higher picks. It was a move that shocked fans and players alike. In the fallout, Matt Crouch became a Crow and Bernie became a star with the D's. So nearly 3 years on, how does Adelaide's former club champion feel now?
Here's a chance, Bernie Vince back in. Has he got there second? Yes, in.
Obviously there's a bit of a fear of the unknown, moving to a city I'd never lived in before and to a team that I'd never obviously played with. So met a whole bunch of new guys and I guess it was refreshing as well, a bit of a change. I've settled in really well. It helps when you got a good bunch of guys around the footy club. It's a good thing about our jobs when we change or move cities. We've all, automatically got 45 really close mates, so that makes it a lot easier. But I love Melbourne. The city's always something going on. All the big events come here, and I love it.
Here it is.
It's certainly something I'm really enjoying working with the younger guys. I'm the oldest on the list, as the boys always keep reminding me. So that's by 1.5 years or 1 year and 4 months, they say. So a lot of young guys coming through, and they're very inquisitive and ask a lot of questions. So I'm happy to help them out.
We're getting a round of applause here or some boos, Bernie Vince? Just a hush, a hush. And at the moment, he's actually...
You got a little bit of both there, Blake.
It was strange playing against guys you're used to just playing with every week. So the good thing about that was we actually won it. So I think at the start, the crowd was sort of half clapping me when I got the ball, and then we looked like we were going to win, and that's quickly stopped. But it was probably the second game we played against them, which was the biggest one from memory. I copped a lot of boos that day.
Oh, he's kicked the wrong way. He thinks he's still playing for the Crows.
It was quite funny. I kicked the wrong way. It was a pretty eventful day, that one. Kicked the wrong way and had a bit of a scuffle with a few of my mates. So it was all in good fun. haven't played Adelaide at the G yet, so that's going to be something different as well. But certainly one of the best sides in the comp, I think, at the moment. Play a real fast brand of footy and got their forward line's probably the best in the comp. Certainly going to have our work cut out. The good thing is we get to play them at the G, which is our home ground.
What a star. Not too many players get to win Best and Fairest awards at 2 clubs. After the break, Alana turns back the clock to a day when defeat became a defining moment in a club's history. And can we make foodies out of footballers? We find out with VB.
Welcome back. Kyle Hartigan is enjoying a standout season as an integral part of the Crows' defence. Not only is he locking down his opponents, but he's winning the ball and often setting up the team's attack. But in learning a little more about the 24-year-old, we have to meet his canine friend.
Ollie's a black Labrador. He's 2.5 years old. Got him from Cuddly Creek up in the Adelaide Hills. I love animals and I especially love dogs. They're great companions. But my partner, she's never been an animal person or a dog person. So, you know, like get her used to a dog from a puppy and stuff like that. And I just love spending time with him. We'll take him to the park, to the beach and that sort of stuff. And, you know, when you come home, if you've had a bad game or anything like that, you come home and they've always got a smile on their face, wagging their tail. And yeah, I love that about him. The first year and a half, probably he was a terror, like he would dig and he would chew and that sort of thing, but he's grown up a lot.
It's a great mark defensively, brilliantly done from Hartigan.
It's been pretty consistent so far, but it's only halfway through the year and a long way to go, so the team's playing well at the moment, so it makes it a lot easier to play your role. Pods has been really good this year, coming in and bringing the new game style, a lot more attacking and you know, you play footy to have the footy in your hands, get kicks and marks and handballs and that sort of thing. So the way we play out in front, you know, gives you more opportunity to go for your marks and take the game on a lot more. And he's really installed confidence in all of this. The boys down there I love playing with, and yeah, the more games you play together, the more enjoyment you get because you know what. You know each other a lot better, what everyone's going to do and that sort of thing. So I think it's really good for the team to yeah, play a lot of games together.
History shows that top teams can turn adversity to an advantage. In 1998, the Crows season looked almost over when they were comfortably beaten by Melbourne in the qualifying final. But as we know, they bounced back to win 3 finals in a row and claim back-to-back flags. Club champion Nigel Smart explains how the side turned it around.
And they'll be singing long and hard in the club rooms tonight.
Back then, Melbourne had a fantastic team. They won the midfield. Jeff White and Sean Wren kind of nullified each other, but their midfield dominated. Gary Lyon up in the forward lines as well. David Schwartz, they had enormous stars and they played really well. I believe Neats, Farmer, they had a field day. They kicked 6 goals each. Very rare that you play a game and you've got 2 forwards that are kicking multiple goals like that. So they dominated. I know Jeff Farmer, Andrew McLeod was actually on Jeff Farmer and got stitched up.
Here's Farmer again. Can he get his third? He can! 3 to the corner. Jeff Farmer, you are a wizard.
We learned a lesson from Melbourne, but it didn't actually defeat us. There's no doubt that Malcolm looked at the game. Melbourne had some terrific players. We were down in many areas and we didn't have too many winners. I think Malcolm took stock of that. He's a very positive and proactive coach, Malcolm. And during that finals, we had a chance to redeem ourselves the week later against Sydney, and the guys responded. We were a tight group, and it's very similar to probably our team now. Like we had a good spread across the board, and we had players that could step up and do their job, and we had a very much a team-first approach back then. So we learned a lot of lessons out of it, and we used those lessons to actually push us forward in the week later against Sydney.
It is all over for Sydney.
Of course, the finals draw has changed since then, and if the Crows were now in the same situation, that first finals loss would mean season over. Well, food is the fuel that feeds an athlete's body. But how well do Crows players know their way around the kitchen? Thanks to Thomas Farms, we tagged along with Nathan Van Berlo as he showed us his culinary skills. However, VB is not just cooking for himself.
As elite athletes, it's important that we eat well, and we don't necessarily have a lot of time on our hands, and we need the food to be approved by our dietitian, and some of us aren't the best to cook, so it's important that we get something that's easy to cook and it tastes good as well. So I've got Paul Seedsman here today. A cooking challenge. What do you got there, Seeds?
It's the Thomas Farms kitchen package. It's 100% Australian produced, and it's very easy and very convenient.
Let's have a look. Let's see how we go.
Let's go. So today we're going to be cooking the beef scotch fillet with caprese skewers. You ever had that, VB?
I haven't, mate. What's in it?
It looks like there's a bit of steak. Well, it looks like a few cherry tomatoes and a bit of bocconcini and a bit of zucchini on the side. So are you grabbing tongs to put in, or just grab
the tongs, mate, for
nice big juicy steak. It's been cooking, Viva, so you might as well get that out and put it on the plate.
Sounds good, mate. She's done.
See if we can get it looking something like this photo, and then we know we've done well.
It's always hard to get looking like the picture, but I reckon we can do this. A little bit more. Never have too many greens in your plate, mate, can you?
No, very healthy for you, that. Not zucchini.
Easy, that only took us about 10-15 minutes, didn't it?
Yep.
Bon appetit. Dig in.
For a bloke who doesn't like zucchini, it tastes pretty good.
Yeah, I'll get this going.
It's actually nice. Oh, perfectly done. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Good job.
That's so good.
Done well, mate. Well done.
Cheers, Nathan.
And we'll be checking in on the Crows' kitchen each week. Still to come, a tall order for Brodie Smith's Sunday roast. And there must be a plan to all those interchanges, but what is it?
Interchange on game day, yeah, that's organised chaos, really.
Last week on The Crows Show, we met Riley O'Brien, the footballer. Today, thanks to Aussie Ripper Roasts, Brodie Smith finds out more about Riley away from the field.
Riley O'Brien, welcome to the Ripper Roast.
Thank you, mate. Cheers, thanks for having me.
It's your second year at the Crows now, obviously learning your trade in the ruck. What were some of your goals going into this year?
I think just back up a solid first year last year and just hopefully play good sample footy and play sample finals with the team and hopefully push for an AFL selection. So.
Yeah, and obviously with the AFL selection pretty tough with Sammy Jacobs in there. What's he been like as a sort of a mentor role to you?
Yeah, no, he's been really good. We've got a really good ruck crew down here, so we've got 4 of us, Paul Hunter, Luke Loudon as well. So we do a lot of work together, and Sam's really good with, obviously he's at the top of his game, so gives a lot of tips and he's really good.
On to the off-field stuff.
Yep, here we go.
You live with a couple of boys, Harry Deer and Mitch McGovern. How's that going firstly?
It's good fun living with the 2 of my best mates at the club, but they struggle a bit sometimes around the house.
They struggle a bit?
They struggle a bit. Not most hygienic people you'll ever meet, but it's okay. Got to be a bit of a father figure.
I'm glad you touched on hygiene because I came to pick you up to go to a clinic down at Elizabeth a couple of weeks ago. How's your washing going?
Okay. Well, in that case, I left my load in the washing machine for a little bit too long, and the polo I grabbed straight out of there was a little bit on the smelly side. So
yeah, define a little bit too long because you got in the car and we almost made you get out. It was that bad.
It was only probably about 12 hours, but it did smell out. You did have to get your car fumigated, I think. It was pretty bad.
You weren't allowed to wear your polo to the clinic
either. I zipped up my jumper and threw it out.
What about a bit of man love as well? I've heard you appreciate a good-looking man.
Yeah, I do actually. Bit of a man crush on Hugh Greenwood at the moment. He's actually cutting his hair, so pretty devastated, but what do you do?
Yeah. All right, Riley O'Brien, thanks for joining us.
No worries, mate. Thank you.
Arguably, the biggest game changer this year has been the lower cap on rotations. That's meant an even greater focus on interchanges. Thanks to Revolution Roofing, we go under the coach's roof to find out how the rotations are managed, who's responsible, and how does the timing work.
Look at them, they're all checking the clock. They need to get their teammates off. They've had less rotations than the Eagles.
Interchange on game day, yeah, that's organised chaos, really. We have myself down there. I'm wired up in the box, getting instructions from coaches. We've also got one of our other staff up there who's sort of moving the board, telling me where players are. Players have a general idea of where they're going and what times they need to be coming, but as you know, a game of footy is pretty chaotic and things change. The aim is to try and keep speed on the game, getting our midfielders rotating as much as possible. Also our high half forwards, high half backs, you know, we can't neglect them and leave them out there for too long, because if they have a player come onto them that's really fresh, you know, it's really hard for them if they've been playing a lot of game time to play on a player who hasn't had as much game time and is probably a lot fresher than them. The coaches sort of before the game and in the week leading up to it, the players know the general area where they're going to play, you know, midfield, forward, back, but there's a lot of crossover between that, and a lot of times you need to sort of almost make things up on the go. Players have multiple positions they can play. Someone like a David McKay can almost play 4 or 5 different positions, and so throughout a game, at any one stage, he might play all 5 of those positions.
Picks up plenty of time and he snaps a goal.
90 rotations, it is a challenge as much as that you can't waste them. Probably the biggest change has been that players spend longer on the bench now, so rather than it being, you know, 90 seconds or 2 minutes, it's sort of 3 to 4, maybe even 5 minutes, and that's really hard for the players. They want to get back out there and play.
Back it comes, here's Laird, runs to 50, low ball, is it accurate enough? The crowd will let you know.
There's never ever a rule to say you must come off after you kick a goal. I think it's a bit of a thing that a player often gets told maybe 1 or 2 minutes before they kick the goal, hey, you've got to get off, you know, as soon as you can. And I reckon that might be a bit of motivation to just run that little bit harder or that kind of thing. So when they come off after kicking a goal, that is 100% a fluke if you see it at the Adelaide Football Club.
Stay with us and discover who's this week's face in the crowd. And Big Sauce knows what he likes when he looks for a holiday destination.
Well, we've certainly got to know a lot about Sam Jacobs on The Crow Show. His home, his love of American sport, his game day routine, and even his dog. But what about his favourite holiday? Thanks to our friends at Flight Centre, Sam takes us along for the ride.
My favourite holiday destination's the States. I was able to go over there for about 4 weeks with my fiancée Izzy, and it was great. It was great. We were able to go over there, and obviously a big sports fan, so it was nice to go over there and you know, watch some sport. We went to San Francisco, which I loved. It was great riding over the Golden Gate Bridge and going to Alcatraz, which I find really interesting. I was able to go to San Antonio, catch up with Paddy Mills, which was also great. He's a big Crows man. Spent time in New York. Next up, I wouldn't mind going back to the States, but no, probably Europe. Once again, obviously, cricket's played over there in England and all those type of places, so it'd be great to go over there and you know, see a bit of history as well.
And now to the job of finding a face in the crowd of 50,000. So, who's going to be the lucky fan this week? How about you? If you do recognise yourself, contact the club by 5 p.m. next Wednesday. Be ready with some photo ID and you'll win a merchandise pack courtesy of Chemist Warehouse.
Looking ahead to next week, it's Eddie Betts' turn to take some hard-hitting questions from some of our youngest supporters.
And talking of stars, Tony Modra remembers the day he reached a magical milestone.
I think he's got it. Well done, Anthony Modra.
Here they come.
That about wraps up this week's show, brought to you by Chemist Warehouse.
Next week, we'll have another hour-long show at 11:30 Sunday morning.
That time again, 11:30 next Sunday for an hour-long Crows show.
Thanks for your company. We look forward to you joining us then.
Bye for now.
Go the Crows.